Hello everyone.
Welcome to Auxilium.
We help to get the right
person for the right job.
at right time.
Exodus that hasn't been seen in India in decades. Thousands of migrant workers are on the move, most of them on foot. There are 120 million migrant workers in India, many of whom are daily wage earners. Human rights groups say India's lockdown has disproportionately affected migrant and daily wage workers. Nearly a week after the Indian government ordered all bus and train services to stop, stranding millions of migrant workers, Uttar Pradesh's state government started busing workers from Delhi on Saturday. Delhi's homeless shelters have been overrun with people who've lost their livelihoods. Be home. And it's not just Delhi that people are leaving. 300 migrant workers were found trying to cross the border between the states of Telangana and Maharashtra in 2 container trucks in temperatures of nearly 40 degrees.
Hello everyone. I am Nishit Tripathi, the CEO of Auxilium. Well, what Auxilium is? Let's find out. So Auxilium is a startup that we have made, a startup to help unskilled laborers. We all know the plight of unskilled laborers during COVID-19 pandemic. Well, we act as a bridge between laborers and the organizations that want to hire them. We also provide services to general public. Of course, it's better to hire someone you actually know rather than hiring someone randomly. We're not helping these people or the organization. We are helping the society as a whole. Well, you must be asking, you must be wondering, what kind of bridge are we, right? So it's a bridge that gives 3 options. Option while hiring, flexible system, and proper sanitization, which is always maintained. So let's talk about options while hiring. If you need a plumber to fix a broken tap or an electrician to fix some socket or open wiring in the wall, you can always search for that particular person on our website. You can call us and we'll provide you for the same. While doing so, you get various options while searching or while hiring. For example, an optimization is maintained between users' budget versus the skill of workers and handyman services. The system is flexible, and this is exactly what differentiates us from urban companies, which are already there as our competitor. We fully maintain hygiene of our firm, and every worker has to undergo certain procedures and steps in order to ensure that he is perfectly fine, both mentally and physically. Well, how do we help? As told by me earlier, we act as a bridge between labor and organization that wants to hire people. So now you can see that this Y kind of structure, like, right? It has 3 ends. Well, that's how a Y is supposed to be after all. Never mind. So the lower end is about daily wage workers. So daily wage workers have a choice. They can either go to organization or they can go to the public domain. They can work for organizations if they want a very proper structured way of working, and if they want their fixed number of working hours, and if they want to be like free and they don't want to have any obligations on them, they can choose the public domain where they'll have a choice because there's no obligation, there's no restriction upon the number of hours that they'll be working for. Next up is general public. So general public are the normal public like you and me, who require these people or who require to hire these people, and it's actually better if you hire these people because you already know about their background, from where they are are they safe or not, etc., etc. We're not only helping these workers, but we're helping the whole society. Next up is training to unskilled people. So while hiring these unskilled people, it's obvious that they are very unskilled. They don't know much about the particular domain that they're gonna be working in. So how is it possible that the audience will be choosing us as compared to other people who are already there working instead of them, right? So that's why we'll provide training to these workers. Skilled laborers include plumbers, electricians, and cleaners, and the list goes on. COVID-19 has affected everyone in the worst way possible, and that's why it's very important for us to think about these people. Next up is our future plans, or rather future goals. So what do we hope to achieve? So right now we're working on unskilled laborers, but in future we'll also be working upon skilled laborers. That's why skilled labor incoming. In future we'll do skilled laborers as well. Next up is civil sector. So we'll be providing civil sectors as well with the workers that we'll be hiring, that we'll be having in our organization, and we'll be giving them so that they can hire these workers and they can build roads, they can build railroads, they can build buildings and much more stuff. So that's all my part. I'll be signing off and I'm handling this platform to Nitin, who is the marketing head. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nitin Magadari and I'm the Sales and Marketing Head of Auxilium. So let's begin. Then, first, let's speak about the importance of marketing. So, marketing plays a very important role in any organization and it must be given a lot of importance because unless and until you don't have a proper plan on how to target your audience and after that, how to pitch and sell your product or idea to them, your startup idea isn't going to work well. So, to achieve this, you need to follow the proper steps of marketing process. So, what exactly is this marketing process? So marketing process. So basically, whenever you're formulating your idea or your business plan or your startup plan, basically you need to first look into these four things: the needs, the demands, wants, and desires of the customers, how it's being satisfied with the help of your organization and startup. So basically, as we all know, like there are many organizations and portals like LinkedIn, Naukri.com. Basically, these all are focusing on engineering, banking, medical, and other sectors of jobs, but there are very few which are targeting the skilled and unskilled laborers and the technicians. Like basically, this job sector is not being focused by these ventures. So basically, our organization is going to recruit these skilled and unskilled employees and technicians, and after that, we are going to provide them with proper training and give them training certifications and make them employment ready. So that and after that, we can provide them with contract jobs so that they can have job security because like mainly like the laborers present now and the technicians, they are daily wage laborers and are working on the basis of service and pay. And now if you take the current scenario like the COVID-19 situation out here, these the basically the people of this job sector are facing a very bad situation right now because at this point the service and pay is not going really well, but we are providing them contractable jobs, so that is going to really benefit them and is going to interest them a lot. So this is one of the key point of our organization. And where they'll get employed, basically they'll be employed in construction sites and then schools, universities, and societies where basically a set of technicians and laborers are hired for a span of months and years, and they look after the requirements and maintenance and stuff. So they'll be recruited there. So this is basically the aim of our organization. So the next step. So the next step is STP, which stands for segmentation, targeting, and positioning. Basically, in this huge environment and in these many clusters of people, we are just focused on the clusters are which are important to us. Basically, if you see, only two clusters are important to us. Basically, one who we are going to recruit, that is going to be the technicians, the skilled and unskilled laborers, some people with technical knowledge and some with non-technical knowledge, and the ones where we are going to employ them. So that is the construction, schools, societies, buildings, universities, banks, companies, etc. So basically, we need to focus on these two types of clusters. So our segmentation is done on the basis of demographic segmentation, and we need to target them. So next, which is left, is positioning. Positioning is basically providing your identity in the market, like basically establishing the name of Auxilium in the market, like who we are basically. So for that, you need to uh, make sure that you keep these 4 points in your mind. So who am I? Auxilium. What am I? We recruit workers and provide them jobs. For whom am I? Workers and construction companies, schools and societies. Why me? Opportunities made here. So like people have to know these 4 points, and when they hear the word Auxilium, they need to remember this, like what we are. So we need to establish our identity in the market. So this is quite necessary. Then after this, the next process. So basically, how we are going to do this? So basically, like nowadays, each and every one you is a part of at least one social media platform, and like actually spends, what you say, like many hours of his day and weeks on social media. So I think this is one of the medium where everyone needs to target. So like basically, that's what our first aim is, to target people with the use of social media, web platforms, and newspapers and other kinds of advertising. So basically, like there are many shows, like many people are, as we know, they are part of social media platforms, and there are many ads which are displayed in these social media platforms, and these ads are proven to be very effective in terms of in terms of like budget, because they're very budget friendly. Because like basically, if you see the rates which are displayed on the screen right now, like Google search and display ads are like only 10 to 100, then Instagram 40 to 80, Facebook 20 to 40, and YouTube banner ads 10 to 40. And these are basically the CPC rates which are provided, which is basically means cost per click. Means like which means we are going to pay them only when a user is redirected to our website. And if a user is getting redirected to our website, our name is going to be that, because at least he's getting interest, because he's interested in the name and the concept of our organization, and then only is coming to our website. So basically he's interested in it, so it's not a loss. Even if he's not getting even if he's not if he, even if he doesn't want to recruit, or even if he's not taking any of our service, he's coming to our website, so it's going to spread our name, so it's going to help us in a way. And then comes direct marketing. So like direct marketing basically will be pitching directly to the stores, selling the hardware tools. Basically, the laborers the laborers who are going to go to the stores, we are gonna pitch to the managers of the store, where they will be indirectly pitching our organization to them. And why will they do this to us? Because we can provide like them incentive on bringing some referrals to us. So basically, they will do this because they're indirectly getting paid, and it is actually very beneficial for them also, and even for the workers who they are going to refer to us, because mostly the workers going to them are the daily wage workers and the workers on service and pay, and everyone knows that getting a job with a job security is much beneficial. And then after that, the other sector people which we will go for direct marketing and pitching is basically the educational institutions, construction sites, and etc., where we will pitch about the organizations, and even the building societies, etc., where we'll pitch about the organization and for the employment, and they will surely be interested, because we are going to provide them training from the professionals which we have in our organization, and give them a training certification. So everyone would like some trusted workers to be recruited in their companies. So that is also another beneficial. So they will be targeted. So basically, through two types of marketing, that is through social media marketing and through direct marketing, that is pitching, we want to target. We will be doing the marketing of our company. This is the basic website I have created for a startup, Auxilium. So this can be used for both the purposes. Basically, the CPC ads will redirect the customers to this website. So this can be used for both the purposes, like for the companies who want to hire our services, and even the technicians with some technical knowledge. They can use this website to fill the online application form. So like our website has the following options. So this is the home page, then we have a get recruited page, a hire page, services page, about, and contact us page. So basically the website goes as this. So here the services which will be provided by our Auxilium. who we are, the services available like getting recruited or hire the services, then people can contact us and we are free to answer their queries. So this is the get recruited page where the technicians can fill their online application and we will contact them. And if anyone wants to hire our services, they can fill the form and we will also contact them after this. Yes. So now Nishit will take over. Thank you.
Thanks, Nitin. Well, it's me, Nishir again. Apart from being the CEO of the Auxilium, I'm also apparently design and publicity head. So let's see what I've done up until so far. Publicity plays a major role in expansion of a firm along with its success. The better we are at publicizing, more will be our reach. As a growing firm, we need to increase our reach and make everyone well aware about our presence, that we are here in the market. I've worked upon many unique and exquisite designs. These include posters for digital media such as Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, as well as promotional videos, one of them which you already saw in the beginning itself. So let's see the poster that I've created. So this is a coming soon poster when we are about to launch our website. So it's basically a website reveal poster. Next up is another poster about our website wherein we'll send the QR code so that it becomes ever easier for everyone. They can just take their phone, they can just take their smartphone and they can scan it via Google Scan or the regular scanner that's already available in the phone by default. And next up is another poster for helping. As it says, helping one person might not change the whole world, but it can surely change the world for that one person. So that's why it's very necessary to help everyone. So it's Nishir signing off, and I'm handing this platform to Nishkarsh, who's logistics and operation head at Auxilium. Thank you.
Thank you, Nishit. Now, I'm Nishkarsh Bisht, 18B800077, Logistic and Operation Head of our company, will be explaining you the logistic and operation part in the company. So, the first question arises in our mind, what basically logistic mean? Logistic is meant to be the art and science of obtaining, producing, storing, and distributing material and product in proper place and in proper quantities. So, as I can give you an example of logistics based on our company. So, in our company, material is referred as employees that will be needing and providing them to the companies which are connected to fulfill their requirement. The intermediate between employee and end user will be a company that will train the employee, which we can refer as producing and storing part in a way that this suit the requirement as needed by the company. Components of logistics. So in our project, basically we have four logistic components. The first is the transportation. So the transportation part include getting all the products needed by a company in very efficient manner. The next is warehousing. So this is done to keep our product in a place where they are safe and can be monitored very easily. The next part comes the material handling part. It includes doing a condition check on a regular basis so that we can have a surveillance checkup of our materials in a very regular basis. So now the next part comes the order fulfillment. It includes giving order to our clients under deadline and in a very safe way. So now the next part comes day-to-day logistic work. So what are all the day-to-day logistic work that we need to do in a company to maintain the operation of a company in a very fluent way? So the first comes in update all the product that are incoming or outgoing from a company, doing inspection of all the product that we receive from the dealer, maintaining a good relation with customer, increasing our contact to get better results, daily quality check of all the product, finding the best deal to increase the company profit. So this is a track of a company products and quality check. So this is done on a regular basis. So as you can see, this is an example of quality check we have done. So basically we have SN number, product name, product type, quality of product on a scale of 1 to 10 and quantity of the product. And on the basis of this table, we decide whether we want to change a particular component in our company or whether it is okay to keep it for now. So the next part comes the factors before we buy a product. So all the factors that we look up into before buying the product include cost, transportation cost, quality of product, customer reviews, service of the seller, warranties of the product, time taken to deliver products. So now I will tell you the operational plan in our company. So first step include hiring the employees. So the hiring in employee is done by the HR department upon basis on all the registration that we get from the website or from the telephone calls. The second step includes finding customer or companies that will hire these employees. So now we will train our employees in such a way that they will be get used to how to work in the big companies. So training will be done through our employees, which will be specialized in some of the field. And the last part include provide the required company worker in a safe and best way possible. So the day-to-day operating plan includes day-to-day operating and a plan updating of website content, review, update, and enhancement of media content, review and update our online promotion, review and update of our pay-per-click campaigns, respond and update of our online reviews that we get through our online website, review and update of our special landing page, which means the website and supporting documents and the web pages, updating the type of employees needed by the companies linked with us. Thank you. That's about my part. Now, Niva will take over the rest of the part.
Thank you, Nishkarsh. Hi, I, Nineva Ghosh, the Market Research Head of Auxilium, will give you a brief tour through the market research and analysis of our project. The problem that we identified and the solution that we are proposing for it is bridging the gap between blue-collar workers, people who are prone to job loss due to economic crisis, and people who wish to hire them. That makes our target market the job-seeking and hiring platform. The market lacks a unified platform where agencies and contractors alike can hire blue-collar workers en masse, and where the visibility of such workers is given prime importance. We at Auxilium are providing exactly this opportunity to both sides of the transaction for them to interact and get the most out of this platform. The research for our business model plan started at the threshold of established brands like Urban Company and Just Dial. But Just Dial works with the concept of lead generation for companies enlisted with them. Urban Company makes its hired blue-collar workers its representatives. Auxilium instead takes a different route and acts as a platform where blue-collar workers can associate themselves with us, and we in turn will match them up with tenders or hiring requests that suit their profile, making this a lead generation specific model. The workers earn their money and we earn for the match that our database makes. This is the prototype of the database that we wish to create to collect information from both the clients as well as the professionals. The lead generation process flows something like this. Professionals or workers can enroll themselves with us, while at the same time we process requests from hirers. A match is made by our database and the job is concluded on their end. We identified two key consumer personas and what they need. The first type are the blue-collar workers, example plumbers, electricians, etc. What they need is higher visibility and platforms for that visibility, decent pay even if they are enrolled under some employment agency, and flexibility in work time so that they can choose when they want to go part-time and when they want to go full-time. The second consumer type are the people who wish to hire en masse. This includes companies like Urban Company, as well as agencies and people who are hiring through tenders. What they need is a unified platform where they can look for workers with good credibility and at the same time lessen the number of resources that they engage in procuring these workers. We believe that our platform meets the needs of our target customers, and we promise to develop with time, depending on the validation that we get from our customers through the process of lean startup management. Our key competitor is an Ahmedabad-based company called Work India, who have a similar theme, business model plan, and value proposition as Auxilium. But where their main focus is the elimination of middlemen, our main focus is the reasonable commission that we charge from our workers, thus enabling them to take back what they have rightfully earned. The other area of advantage is our area-based segmentation of our market. We are establishing ourselves at a different location that is well known, and hence we are exploiting a different segment of the same market. Though beyond our consumers, We have little to no direct contact with the general public. We believe that by empowering the backbone of our economy and strengthening the companies who take care of the general needs of the public, Auxilium is giving back to our indirect consumers, to all of you. Thank you. And with this, Kaushik will take over. Over to you, Kaushik.
Thank you, Niniva. That was great. Hello, everyone. I'm Kaushik. As you all know about the Auxilium and its motto, we always wanted to strive for something which will definitely help the unskilled and the skilled laborers during the COVID pandemic. This idea has led to the start of Auxilium. And so coming to my role in this Auxilium, I'm the public relations head of this Auxilium. And for the ones who is not aware of what public relation head does, the main aim of the PR is to build beneficial relationships between the organization and their publics. He is the one who makes gain publicity for free from trusted, unpaid or earned channels. So the PR role is also very crucial in a startup. Even if we manage to hire workers without any proper interactions with the companies or the workers, our company will not stand a chance. So I have worked especially close with the external investors and partners, the finance department, HR department, and other key business partners in developing and executing initiatives that address our Auxilium's issues. And I will have to maintain a healthy relationship with both the companies and the unskilled. We shall extend our work by dealing with the skilled laborers and independent families further. And my functions as a PR, I have anticipated, analyzed, and interpreted public opinions, their attitudes and issues that might impact, maybe for good or for bad, the operations and plans of the organization. I have counseled management at all levels in the organization with regard to the policy decisions, courses of actions, and communications, taking into account their public ramifications and the organization's social or citizenship responsibilities. I have researched, conducted, and evaluated programs of action and communication to achieve the informed public understanding necessary to the success of our Auxilium aims. I have planned and implemented the Auxilium's efforts to influence or change public policy, like setting objectives, planning, budgeting, recruiting, and training staff, developing facilities, etc. And coming to the tactics, I have written some copyrights and blogging for the web, which may include internal or external sites. I shall create and execute special events designed for the public outreach and media relationships. I shall consider writing pictures about a film and send them directly to the journalists. I shall also consider the expansion of our business contacts via personal networking and attendance and sponsoring at events. I have done some social media promotions, and based on the responses, I shall consider the remedies for the negative opinions as well. I have analyzed the organization, found the positive messages, and have translated those messages into positive media stories. Now, coming to the strategies, I have liaised with and answering inquiries from the media, individuals, and other organizations, often via telephone and email. I have prepared and supervised the production of publicity brochures, promotional videos, photographs, etc. I shall also organize events including press conferences, exhibitions, open days, and press tours. I have been maintaining and updating and monitoring the information on our organization's website. I've been managing and updating information and engaging with users on the social media sites such as Twitter and Facebook. We shall be interacting by the following ways to maintain the Auxilium's reputation. Communication programs. Employees are the brand ambassadors. They eat, sleep, and breathe the company. It is their faces that people identify with, and the company is known by who they are and how they project themselves. Employees have communications needs for the information and internet interactions, and these should be planned. So I have interacted with some of the employees and have built a strong relationship with the employees. Next is a website. The first place everyone looks these days for information on any company or subject is the internet. A well-designed and laid out website communications a lot about a company. For small businesses, the internet is a great equalizer as it shows off your company as well as a big business. We have implemented a web portal so that we can contact with the companies, skilled laborers, which we will be considering in our future work. And coming to the social media interface, social media is relatively inexpensive, and it gives me a ready channel to hear from my customers and respond to their needs in real time. Social media platforms like Facebook and YouTube are also great for small budget organizations and non-profits, as they allow for inexpensive and direct targets marketing for my promotions. Next, a trained spokesperson. While developing a crisis plan, I shall also identify a spokesperson for my company. This person does not have to be the CEO. He could be an expert within the organization, as having trained spokesperson allows the organization to be camera ready for when the media comes calling. And next is a daily monitoring of reputation. There are a number of monitoring tools available. A system should be in place to monitor what is being said about and the organization, both in traditional and the new media. A crisis communication plan, as many companies tend to create a crisis communication plan after a crisis has happened. We also will have a crisis communication plan. The time to do a crisis communication plan is, however, before the mitigate fallout. A media contact list. The last is a media contact list. We send releases to the news editors who have long since retired or moved on. We shall always have an updated media list, and more importantly, I shall know the journalists who write about my industry and start working with them. So by these ways, I shall be maintaining our company's reputation, and that's my role and how I contributed to my Auxilium. Now from here, I hand over to Nirmala Vasan, who will be discussing about the financial things. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaushik. Hey everyone, I am Nirmala Vasan, the finance head of Auxilium. I will be taking you through the financial plan of a company. The finance department analyzes a company's finances by working closely with other departments, allocating funds and ensuring that the funds are properly utilized. The initial expenses include registration, licenses that include Udyogadar, PAN and GST, Shop and Establishment Act, and will require an accountant and a legal team for the same. Rental advance includes renting an office in Vellore. We've allocated a major chunk of our initial expenses for marketing and advertising, as marketing is of paramount importance. Nitin explained the various marketing schemes involved. We've allocated 15,000 for interior designing, as a well-decorated office attracts more customers. We've allocated nearly 1.27 lakhs for the various equipment shown in this table. This brings the total to about 3.48 lakhs. And finally, we've allocated 25,000 as a buffer amount for emergency situations. Monthly expenses include rent and a toll-free number by Tata Telecommunication Services. And we plan on hosting the website and Amazon Web Services for about 1,200 per year. And then we have internet, electricity and water bills. We'll be hiring 4 employees for a company, 2 web developers to maintain the website and the database, and 2 employees to place and receive phone calls and perform miscellaneous work around the office. This brings the total to about 1.16 lakhs. Every startup requires funding, and we've analyzed the various financing options involved, and we have ranked them based on viability and the risks. Governmental programs include subsidies and funds provided by the government. These are hard to obtain, but considering the nature of a startup, we stand a better chance. Venture capital, bank loans, and crowdfunding are other options. And if all else fails, we turn to bootstrapping, which includes building the company from our personal accounts. Moving on to sources of revenue, there are 2 main sources of revenue for our company. One is from the customers or the workers who we provide jobs to. They'll be paying a percentage of their monthly income of the job that they obtain with the help of a company. The percentage is different for different monthly incomes and is listed in this table. The company will be paying a percentage of the annual income of the worker that they hired with the help of a company. The percentage differs depending on the number of employees that they hired. This is done to encourage mass hiring. After thorough market research, we have made various assumptions for the financial plan of a startup. Firstly, we assume that there will be a decent demand for services because sadly many lost their jobs due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And we have also been very conservative with our assumptions. So we estimate the average salary of the unskilled workers will be hired by us initially to be around 12,000, and hence they fall under the 6% bracket. That is, they'll be paying 6% of 12,000, that is 720 each month for 1 year, and the companies will be paying 6% of the annual salary, that is 6% of 1.44 lakhs and 8,640 for each hire. We estimated it to be 6%, as some companies will prefer mass recruitments and some will prefer one-time recruitments. This table shows a number of people who we assume to provide jobs to each month. And we can observe that there's an increase in number of customers over the years. So we assume that the startup popularity will slowly increase. So moving on to incoming cash and profits, the number of employees hired is shown in this row. And the cash from companies can be obtained by multiplying 8,640 with the number of employees hired. And the cash from customers can be obtained by multiplying 720 with the number of employees hired and adding the cash from companies from the previous month, because our financial model is a recurring model, and the total incoming cash can be obtained by adding both these rows, and the profits are obtained by subtracting this with the monthly expenses. And as observed, the incoming cash and the profits steadily increased over the year. A loss is observed in the first month. Break-even point is the point at which expenditure and revenue are equal. It's the point at which the startup has recovered its initial outlay and the point from which the startup can realize its profits. The conventional formulae and graphs for break-even cannot be applied for a company, and they've taken the concepts and performed manual calculations. The profits from the first 5 months can be summed up to be rupees 3.62 lakhs and the initial expenditure is 3.48 lakhs. Hence, we can conclude that the business breaks even in the 5th month if the assumptions are met. The assumptions include hiring the number of people shown for the first 5 months. That adds up to about 90 people. So we hire 90 people in the first 5 months, the business breaks even. Revenue models help us identify which source of revenue to pursue, what each source offers, and how to maximize profits. We'll be starting off with a subscription model, and then we'll be implementing an ad-based model. We'll be implementing an ad-based model only after our startup is popular enough. The final part is risk analysis. The COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in unpredictable economy, and an economic depression might be observed anytime. New competitors might arise, but we are confident that our innovations will help us attract customers. The customers and the company might not make on-time payments. Thank you. That marks the end of my presentation. I'll be handing the session over to Muskan.
Hello sir, I'm Muskan Gupta, the HR head of a company Auxilium. I started off by doing a background research on the market base, and after reading some studies and reports, I concluded that as the industries are recovering from the epidemic, the need of recruitment will increase. So after getting a positive response from the market side, I took a one step further and we did a survey and to see the insight of customers on our idea. And as you can see, we got a pretty positive response from the customers as well. So after getting a thumbs up from both the sides, we now needed to build our company. And in order to do so, we had to hire people. So I sat with every department and understood their needs from the people that we need to hire and sought out a pretty simple process for the recruitment, which includes of 4 processes. First is resume shortlisting, second online assessment, third is technical interview, and the last one is HR interview. So after this, the one of the challenges that startup face is retaining their employees, because in general people join startups to gain experience or to know how the industry works. So in order to retain them, I came up with a two-step model in which the first step is basically training the people. In the training process, we try to generate a sense of belonging in the people towards the company. And after that, the second one is the maintaining good employee morale. So in this step, what we be doing is keeping uh, their needs at first, like they should be happy at every cost. And after that, and also by using methods like giving them non-monetary rewards and giving them responsibility so they feel that they are responsible and we value them in the company. And we can also give them shares, which is actually a very good idea, as a startup we actually need money or funding. So after solving the challenges within, I generated a questionnaire for the toll services to ask our clients. The questionnaire is generated in a way that they feel that the process is pretty simple. So that's why we start off with the question about their preferred languages, so they're comfortable with the whole process. And also, these questions are in such a way that it is easier for us to contact them with the company. After this, as these people do not have any resumes, we need to sort them out according to their capabilities. So in order to do so, we'll follow a time study research, which I created by molding up two models. So basically, what happens in this is uh, we take a database from the company about the efficiency of the workers and build a model on that. And after that, as the people come, we create a workshop and check their efficiency in the same profession and compare it to the data set from the industry and then sort them in the database. So when the company asks like they want this category of this category of workers, we can simply employ these people according to their caliber. So this will be beneficial for both the workers and the hirer as well. So at last, there are some rules and regulations that I formulated for the company as well. But the two major rules that they must follow are here. Like first one is they must pay the uh, people as they promised, and the second one is that they cannot fire a worker before the contract expiration date. Uh, Conditions are obviously applied, as in certain conditions it is necessary. So this is what I did for my part, for the HR part for my company Auxilium. So thank you.